Can I read?
Yes, Prabhu. Haribol.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परितं सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश्वर गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते देवी नमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतिनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
हरि
Hare
बोल।
Krishna, Lebo Prabhu Dandat Ram Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribol. Hojian Haribol. Okay, we
Jai Haribol.
continue from Hegel chapter. Shyamasundar. For Hegel, religion is pure thought put into form. Srila Prabhupada. He has no knowledge of what religion is. Religion is neither imagination nor pure thought. Religion is the order coming from the most pure. This cannot be imagined or created. We need only receive the instruction from the most pure. These are given in Bhagavad Gita. We are not imagining. Hmm. Agreed thus. Hegel maintained that since God is necessarily manifest in the infinite, the incarnation is central to any religion. In order for God to be manifest, he has to incarnate as a finite man. Srila Prabhupada, or he's a Mayavadi. If God becomes a mere man and is to be considered such, why should his instruction be followed? Agreed thus. Hegel did not believe in following any exterior will. Srila Prabhupada. This means that he is either godless or that God has no meaning for him. Agreed thus. He interpreted the goal of Indian philosophy to be nirvana, spiritual, as well as physical extinction. Srila Prabhupada, everyone acknowledges physical extinction, and as far as the spiritual is concerned, there is no such thing as extinction. The spirit is eternal. Najayate mriyate va kadachinnayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya ayo nitya sasvato yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Bhagavad Gita 2:20. If the spirit is unhighlighted, how is it different from matter? Shyamasundar. Hegel believed that in the highest religion, God is seen as Father, Son, and all-pervasive Holy Spirit. Thus he considered Christianity to be the perfect religion. Srila Prabhupada. Is it perfect to say that God only has one son? Okay, this is interesting. If God is unlimited, why is he limited to only one son? Shyamasundar Das. Well, he claims that Christ represents nature or the objective world because Christ is God incarnate. Srila Prabhupada. When there is an incarnation of God as the Son of God and an incarnation of God as God himself, which is superior? If God has begotten a son, God is a father, a person. How can a son be born of an impersonal father? What evidence do we have of such thing ever happening? Shama Sundar. Hegel would like to have philosophy without religion because he saw religion as basically an encumbrance. Srila Prabhupada. Such philosophy is simply mental speculation. If he claims that philosophy is superior to religion, then religion supported by philosophy is real religion. Otherwise, it is sentiment. As I stated before, the orders of God constitute religion. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, surrender unto me. This is religion. When we try to understand why Krishna wants us to surrender unto him, why we are obliged to surrender unto him, we are in the realm of philosophy. When the philosophy supports religion, it is perfect. It is neither sentiment nor mental speculation. Hagrid does. In the phenomenology of the spirit, Hegel deprecates. What means deprecates? What he does? Oh, it's same as decline.
Deprecate.
Deprecate. So Hegel deprecates the use of plants and animals as objects of religion, considering it a kind of pantheism typical of Hinduism. How would worship of the Tulsi plant or the cow differ? Oh, he says we are worshipping animals and plants. Tulsi plant, cows, we are pagans. Srila Prabhupada. God has specifically said that among plants, he is the Tulasi. It is not that the Hindus are worshipping just any plant. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Pravana Sarva Vedeshu, I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, Bhagavad Gita 7:8. Therefore, the word Om is used in mantras, as in Om Tad Vishnu Parampadam. We know that Omkar is God because God says so. God gives instruction on how he should be realized, and we have only to follow. What is the point in speculating? We can never understand the unlimited God by our limited speculation. Oh, what happened? I got an information that you have been signed out because someone signed from another device. But the call is still going on, so it's okay. I agree with that. But if God is in all animals and in all plants, why concentrate on any particular ones? Why not worship all? Srila Prabhupada, that is especially prohibited. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham tes avastita. By me, in my unmanifested form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. The soul and the super soul exist within the body of a dog, but this does not mean that the barking of a dog is the word of God. What a nice, what a nice analogy. He answered with this one short analogy the whole seemingly difficult question. Yes, actually, when anyone logically thinks that but that's too fun. Yes, this is perfect logic.
Yeah.
Vivekananda said that we should worship Daridra, the poor man in the street. He even used the word Daridra Narayana, indicating that Narayana, God, has become poor, Daridra. Although the body of a Daridra rests in God, Narayana, we should not consider his body to be the body of Narayana. Everything in a government may rest on the orders of the king, but the king is not personally present everywhere. According to the Achintya Beda Tattva philosophy, God is simultaneously one with and different from his creation. God is undoubtedly present in the heart of the Daridra, the poor man, but we should not consider the Daridra to be God. That is an impersonalist Mayavadi mistake. That is pantheism. When Lord Krishna says that his sex life according to Dharma, does that mean that he can be perceived in that way? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, if one performs the Garbhadana ceremony to beget a Krishna-conscious child, Krishna is remembered. It is the duty of the father to remember Krishna while having sex, thinking, Krishna, give me a child who will be your devotee. This kind of sex is for Krishna and is Krishna, but if one has sex for his own sense enjoyment, that is demoniac. Hayagriv Das. But isn't Krishna present nonetheless? Srila Prabhupada. Krishna is always present, but when we hold the Garbhadana ceremony to beget a Krishna-conscious child, we remember Krishna. The rules and regulations for the Garbhadana ceremony are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. As soon as society abandons this ceremony, people become degraded. Agreed us. So the philosophy behind reverence for the tulasi plant and the cow or the sexual ceremony is that these can bring remembrance of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhridavrita namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination. Sometimes the rascals say that Krishna doesn't say in Bhagavad Gita that we should chant. But what he says here, always chanting my glories. This is the verse.
There is also one other verse, I think Lavesh Rupu shared with me, in which Krishna says, chanting of my name is the topmost yagna. Oh,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
yeah,
I had this in the notes, I think.
yeah.
But I don't remember where it is.
No, I think I have just recently put it in my notes. Yeah.
Is it in Bhagavatam?
No, Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita in chapter 8, I think. When he said the syllable home is my
No.
my
This verse is chapter 12, verse number 25. 10, chapter 10.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Yes.
I am chanting of the holy names. Japa.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, how I forgot it. But to this day, we'll say, oh, Japa is Krishna, but Krishna is not saying you should do chanting. They will say anything so they don't have to chant. If somehow or other you always think of Krishna, you become Krishna conscious. Hagrid does. Is it that you shouldn't think of Krishna in any other way? For instance, as a palm tree. What's this question? He wants to think Krishna as palm tree. Srila Prabhupada, when Krishna says that among trees is the tulasi or whatever, we should simply accept it. For instance, he says, Rasoham apsukonteya, I am the taste of water, Bhagavad Gita 7:8. When we follow these instructions, we think, I am drinking water and I'm feeling satisfaction. This satisfaction is Krishna. In this way, we can remember him. Hegel mistook this for pantheism. Srila Prabhupada, he's mistaken in so many ways. Not just this one. Haribol, who's this? What happened to his wild hair?
They are blown away.
Yes, Prabhu. He was thinking so much, they blew away. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, anyone can
just
continue
like me.
with. But
But you are thinking about Krishna, so it's fine. He was
yes,
thinking
Prabhu.
himself.
But he has these like wings. He was
Yes,
thinking
like-
too much of the Jnana speculation, so he got like wings to
When-
his.
In cartoon, we see, they are running too fast and hair goes like this. It's just like that.
He should have followed you, Jenny Prabhu, and took these off and put a tilak.
Yes. So he wasn't Krishna conscious after all.
Yes, Prabhu. Who's he? Arthur. How is this said?
Schopenhauer.
Oh, He was 88 years old, or is it?
He's very well known,
22.
actually.
He's old person. Okay, who wants?
Actually, I'm interested in the last, like those famous philosophers, they are in the last. Like one of the philosophers said, God is dead. He is very famous right now. I forgot his name. It is in the introduction. So that last part is going to be very interesting. Srila Prabhupada is going to break him like anything.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, there will be the Sigmund Freud, and there will be his friend.
Yes, this Sigmund Freud fella. He
Yes,
said it that
he's
God
the
is dead.
sex philosophy person. He says everything is related to sex, and he always talks about this. And there was his friend. He was like his Siksha Guru or something. There was another one. Who was the friend of this Freud? Let's see. Oh, this Carl Jung. And then there
No,
will
no.
be,
Actually, I was reading this introduction. In introduction, it is given that Carl Jung is most sanest among all these philosophers.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, I remember the chapter a little bit. But then there will be
Yeah.
Darwin also. We haven't come to the.
Uh,
Did we go through Darwin yet? I don't think so. Maybe not
Let
yet.
me check. Let me check. I'll open the introduction.
Maybe.
And, no, Darwin is after. Where is Darwin? Darwin.
Yes, now we're coming to the modern era more.
Yeah.
It all started more from church things. The first ones
Oh,
mostly Christian.
Darwin is just after this one.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this Schopenhauer's philosophy is a little bit similar, maybe. Okay, who wants to continue?
I can continue.
Yes, Prabhu.
For Anna, what did you say the name was?
Schopenhauer.
Schopenhauer.
Mm.
Okay, for Schopenhauer, happiness is inactive, satisfaction inactivity, nirvana, since the will to live is the irrational urge that brings about all suffering. He advocates the extinction of this world. In the world as idea, he writes, the Vedas and Puranas have no better simile than a dream for the whole knowledge of the actual world, which they call the web of Maya. Indeed, life is a long dream. What is this world of perception besides being my idea? Is that of which I am conscious only as idea, exactly like my own body, of which I am doubly conscious. In one aspect as idea, in one aspect as idea, in another aspect as will. He goes on to conclude that life is a projection of the will. Yes, life is a projection of the will or material desire. The living entity cannot be desireless. Nirvana means that material desires are finished, but because the living entity is an external spiritual being, he has spiritual desires. Now, these spiritual desires are covered by material desires, but in any case, desire is the constant companion of the living entity. Because he is materially covered, he considers the temporary world to be reality, but because it is because it is constantly considered the temporary world to be reality, but because it is constantly changing, it is not. According to the type of body we get, we have, yes, Prabhu. We have different desires. The soul transmigrates in the material world from one body to another, and he creates desires accordingly. The Supreme will afford him different bodies in order to fulfill his will or material desires. The living entity is willing, and the supreme will God or Krishna. Understanding the finite will gives him faculties to fulfill his particular desire. Therefore, will is the cause of this material existence. However, we say that since you are a living being, you must have desires. If your desires are stopped, you become like a stone. Instead of trying to put an end to all desire, you should try to cleanse this disease from the disease form of desire. That is the process of bhakti. Sarvopadi vinirum kutam tat param twayena niramalam hirishikesha sivanam bhakti uchayet. Yes. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two sides effect. He is freed from all material designations, and simply by being employed in the service of the Lord, his senses are purified. Bhakti rasamrita sindhu. Presently, our desires are desires of the body, upadi. When the living entity acquires the body of an American, a European, a Chinaman, or whatever he thinks, or whatever he thinks in a certain way, when he changes his body to that of a dog, he spends his time barking. According to his desires, he has received a particular type of body. These desires are temporary, and the living entity moves from one body to another. Therefore, in one sense, this is all a dream. It is a fact that we cannot fulfill our material desires, which come and go like dreams. Now, all material activities, subtle or gross, are manifestations of different desires, and therefore, the Mayavadi philosophers say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mitaya. The dreamer is a fake, but the dream is false. Our Vaishnava philosophy agrees that the dreamer is the effectual living entity and the dream is temporary. Therefore, the dreamer has to be brought to the real spiritual platform so that his material dreams can be extinguished. When we abandon the dream and awaken to reality, that is Krishna consciousness or bhakti, then will or desire can never be annihilated. No, not even for a second, because we are living. We must will and desire. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that we cannot live for a second without will, without desires. Nahi kashiti kasnam api gyatu tisyati akaramakta karyate hei avasa karma sarva prakriti gyanir guguna. Is it gunai gunai? All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulse born of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Bhagavad Gita, verse, I think it's chapter 3, verse 5. Don't the Buddhists advocate a state of desirelessness or non-willingness? They believe that if you dismantle this material combination, this material body, there will no longer be will, desire, or suffering. But this is not a fact. You are the eternal servant of Krishna and you do not die after the destruction of the body. Thinking, feeling, and willing are carried from the body to another body in the process of transmigration. When the body dies, the living entity is carried out. The living entity is carried away by his will. According to our will, we receive another body at the time of death. That body may be the body of a demigod, dog, human, or whatever. In any case, will or desire is the carrier. Schopenhauer was profoundly influenced by some of the Vedic literatures. For example, he writes, even every keen pleasure is an error and an illusion, for no attained wish can give lasting satisfaction. And moreover, every possession and every happiness is but lent by chance for an uncertain time and may therefore be demanded back the next hour. All pain rests on the passing away of such illusion. Thus, both arise from defective knowledge. Defective knowledge. The wise man therefore holds himself equally aloof from joy and sorrow, and no event disturbs his composure. Yes, in this material world, people say this is good and this is bad, but factually, there is no question of good and bad. This is all the temporary platforms. The Mayavadis use the words false, but we say temporary. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita that the pains and pleasures experienced in the material world do not touch the spirit soul. Under illusion, a spirit soul concerned with a material body thinks that the pains and pleasures are his, but this is not a fact. Therefore, Krishna instructs that the pleasures and pains simply touch the body, not the soul. Krishna says, Matra sparkshash tu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkha da agam agana maponi agana mapoi nityas. Tamas titikshava barata. O son of Kunti, the non-prominent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perceptions, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 14. Since pleasures and pain come and go in due course, they are not the reality. So why bother about them? If I feel pain, let me tolerate it and go about my business. So shall pain now. So hey, this this word kills me. Hey, what did you say? Was it Prabhu? Like, so what?
Schopenhauer. Hour. Like hour. You can say hour.
Schopenhauer sees
Yes, yes.
happiness in the world of a negative state at best, a momentary suspension of suffering. Yes, that is also explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes when a man is to be punished, he's held underwater to the point at okay, cannot see the point of suffocation. Then he is led up, and when he comes up for temporary relief, he thinks, happiness at last. The point is, he should do something that will relieve him of his unhappiness permanently. So she Penawa says human life must be some kind of mistake. The greatest crime of man was that he was ever born. When you understand that when you understand that there is a crime, you must understand that someone is there to punish you. If you suffer because of that crime, you must understand that there is someone who has judged you to be criminal. He concludes, however, that because the world is mad or irrational, it could not possibly have an author. If there were a god, he would have set the world in order. We have certainly experienced that there are madmen in the world, but there are also hospitals where such men can be treated. The world may be mad, but there is hospitalization, unfortunately. So Penawa has no knowledge of the hospital or the treatment. He speaks of sinful life, but he does not accept the judge who gives the punishment for sinful life. He sees that the world is mad, but he does not know the treatment for madmen. In the world as will, in the world as will. So Shepenoa writes, my body is the objectivity of my will. Besides will and idea, nothing is known to us or thinkable. The Gentiles are properly the focus of their will, and consequently the opposite pole of the brain, the representative of the knowledge in this respect. They were worshipped by the Hindus in the lingam, which are thus the symbols of the ascension of the will. Knowledge, or on the other hand, affords the possibility of the suppression of willing, of salvation through freedom or conquest and annihilation of the world. As I said before, willing is done in accordance with the body, but we should understand that we have nothing to do with this material world, which is the production of the material world, of the material wheel. We are spiritual, and when we will spiritually, we are Krishna conscious. When we will materially, we get different types of material bodies. It is true that the basis of material life is sex. We always say yan maitahunadi graham medi sukam hi tu cham kan kaukan yanena karoya iva duka tukam tripianti neha kripana bahu duka bagya o baja kandu kandutivan manasi jam visaheta dihira. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands. Sex life is sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itchy grahamedis, so-called grastas, who have no spiritual knowledge, thinks that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The kripanas, the fools who are just the opposite of brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching, are not subjected to the suffering of fools and rascals.
Very nice person.
Yes, Prabhu. Oh, Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu and Antariksh Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please explain the blessings of Guru Shri Prabhupada.
Somehow I didn't have it in the notes. I don't know why. People. Okay, who wants to continue or will Lebo Prabhu continue?
I can continue.
Okay.
The basic principle of those who are addicted to the material world is maithuna, sexual intercourse. This strong desire for sex continues as long as we are in the material existence, because that is the center of all pleasure. However, when we get a taste of Krishna's pleasure, we can give this up. Vishaya vini varte tante niraharasya dehina rasa vrajam raso api asya param drishtva nirvantante. The embedded soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remain. But ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. BG 2.59. Shyam Sundar Das. Schopenhauer considers sex to be selfishness, whereas real love simply means sympathy. Sex is animalistic. It is not love but lust. Sex means the mutual satisfaction of senses, and that is lust. All this lust is taking place under the name of the love. And out of illusion, people mistake this love for lust for love. Real love says people are suffering from a lack of Krishna consciousness. Let us do something for them so that they can understand the value of life. He also considered he also considered immoral acts to result from a
Yes, Prabhu, yesterday I was preaching to one Karmi person who is interested in Krishna consciousness, but he has all kinds of wild ideas and thoughts in his mind because he's like a jnani. He has speculated and he's going through this neti process, not this, not this. So he has so many different ideas. And yesterday he was explaining about love, and I was explaining about real love, how this is lust and love. But he says, because he's really convinced that he sees everyone as equal. He says, how can it be possible that I don't hate anyone? I don't hate my neighbor or the persons who talk badly about me. And he says like this, like he's renounced, that he has no anger or anything. But I know this is not possible because he's not chanting, so he's just saying. So I was trying to explain to him what is the difference of love, or I gave some quotes regarding to love and lust, and he was
Yeah.
confused, and because he has a dog, and he has a dog, and he's living with the dog, and he's saying that, oh, I love my dog also, and he's saying like this. And I was thinking, because I cannot say to him directly that no, your love of your dog is lust, and because otherwise he will go away. So I was like, how I can explain this to him without offending his dog and this.
You could say now that actually we are all equal because we are Krishna's son. But the fact is that we are Krishna's servant, not everybody else is. So we should try
Yes,
to like serve Krishna. But he may go away because I have no experience of preaching.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, I'm trying to
You
just
should just
make him chant.
we-
I'm trying to make
yeah,
him
we should
chant.
just tell him you chat. Do whatever you want,
Yeah,
but just chat.
Yes, Prabhu.
Chinto
the
Dharpan
best
Manjano.
thing is to distribute a book of Prabhupada also. If you can
Yes,
take a
Prabhu.
book
He
of
has the book,
Prabhupada.
but he didn't start
Yeah.
yet, so I think he needs more
Oh,
here.
so you need to read.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, he was saying that because he was saying that he understands that this we shouldn't love this material world and these things, but he couldn't understand first how how about love for family then, and he was saying like how this is related, why we should
I,
avoid love for family, why should we avoid love for my dog, and he was asking like this. I gave some
I
reference. I
think,
gave
yes,
some
in
good
that,
answer.
yeah, in that last to last Ishtagosti session, Prahlad Babu shared these words from the Bhagavatam, in which says family is just like, that dust is flying,
Yes,
some dust particle are together right
yes,
now.
I've given that verse to him also before, and he saw that and he appreciated. He found it really nice verse. But I told him that this topic of real love and this topic of prema is really advanced stage. I told him that we should
Yeah,
we should start with basics like who we are and what is our position and
yeah,
what is the position of the supreme. But then he says that,
yeah.
oh, I've been studying this my whole life. I was struggling, but finally I understood it because he speaks like he has already understood the things. So it's hard to make him convinced that he doesn't know really yet. Because whatever I say, he says, "Oh, I had already thought that this matches what I'm thinking." So he thinks his mind is the supreme, and whatever his mind creates is like the truth.
but what Prabhu, what amazed me is the people who have some, transcendental book but don't read
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
and ask question, and they ask so many speculative question,
yes, Prabhu.
and then it go on, but they don't read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually,
And this is the point, start reading, please.
And nothing actually happens. Nothing changes in their mind. Some things might change. They might think that all these sinful activities are bad, smoking is bad, and but then next thing you see, they are doing the same thing again, even though they just say this thing is because with this person I know
actually,
because
yes.
yes, Prabhu.
So I was listening to Nimai Nitai's lecture, Prabhu today. So he was explaining how the when Prabhupada came, that what hippies. So the hippies, they were renunciate. They all thought that this family life is bogus and all that, and they left all that. But because they did not take to Krishna consciousness, they fall to more sinful life.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
therefore, they were doing drugs and yeah. So if we are leaving something, we should replace it with better. Like
Yes,
that
Prabhu.
was how he's explaining.
Yeah, it was the verse.
Varnashram
Yeah.
Dharma, he was explaining like this.
Yes, Prabhu. But this person, he said that I see that he's not eating meat. So that's one thing that he has done practically. He has quit that. But he's saying that he's not doing any more intoxication or anything. He said this to me, or he's not watching pornography anymore or things like this. But next thing I see in his story, he's with a friend and they're smoking a cigarette. And then I'm thinking, you just say that you completely got out of this and you're like free of this thing. And then I see you publicly post to 10,000 people that you're smoking. So I was thinking, did you forget that you said that to me? Or like, because he speaks nice things and he has the many things of the philosophy. He has already figured them out in his mind, but they have not
He's
translated
very
into
close to Krishna
practicality.
consciousness. Just he has to take up.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So I tried to make him understand that he's not really yet advanced, even though he knows these things, but he's not advanced, but he hasn't realized that yet. So I'm just trying to tell him that please chant until he finds until he gets
It's
the motivation to read the book. I'm trying to
it's
make it
like
like that.
it's like he's so pretty actually.
Yes,
He,
Prabhu.
he knows something because
Yeah.
he will get started very soon. If he start to read, very soon he will awaken this knowledge, you know.
Yes, Prabhu.
But
Yes, Prabhu, like,
actually, what amazed me is that they don't read.
Yes, Prabhu. And I saw in his story, Prabhu. Yesterday I was looking because I'm always thinking, because I've been preaching to him 2 weeks for always daytime. I'm thinking, what is he doing now? Did he start now reading? And then I sometimes, because he's posting to his story a lot, he films like vlogs where he speaks and explains every kind of philosophy to his followers. And yes, I was seeing there, what is he doing? He put a video, okay, today I'm reading a book, he says. I'm trying to read, he says. And then he films, he has a TV open, he's watching something on the background. And then I see the book, he zooms to the book. It's some fiction storybook. And he's like thinking that it wasn't any philosophy book even, it was some, fiction story. And at the same time, he's watching some movie. I was thinking like,
Oh,
what's
Krishna.
going on? That you didn't start the book, and I'm in my mind thinking when will he start it? I'm seeing so much nonsense.
Which book does he have?
I gave him like the links. I told him to download the Science of Self-Realization, but I told him that because he was looking from where he can buy, but I was telling him that I can send to you, or when I go to Helsinki, I will bring him some books. So I will try to. Now I'm trying to make him, because he liked the chanting. He tried chanting and he sent me a long voice message that, he felt really like blissful, he was saying. He said that this I felt like, and he was explaining all nice things about his feeling after chanting. So I encouraged him that yes, this is amazing, do every day. And I'm trying to build some friendship before I don't want to break him. It was close. I was close to I even put one reference about the dog, that how in this material life, we're not loving anyone, we don't find anyone to serve of love. At the final, we put our faith to the dog and serve him. I said that to him, but then I realized, if he reads this, he's gonna break. I had to delete it quickly.
Actually, maybe Prabhu, you can like maybe try to nudge him that my small book, Krishna, the Reservoir of Pleasure.
Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
because that book is like small but really great book. So so I was thinking maybe I should buy that book for my mother as well. That or On the Way to Krishna.
Yeah, those
Both
are
books are
good to
very
have.
nice. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. I try to bring him. I have some books to distribute, some extras, so I will bring these to him, at least these two. And then I have
Oh, you have the original one.
Yes, Prabhu, I have like new copies of these. I have like 10.
Right. I was also thinking of giving one book to my friend. So I was going to go through ISKCON temple and buy it. He's chanting it now, but he doesn't know any philosophy. So maybe I was trying, maybe I'll gift him a small book and he will read. So it would be very nice.
Yes, Prabhu. I usually want to distribute to them, but they don't usually pay anything, or if you they don't like this painting. So,
Yeah.
and if you
So
give them,
that
they don't read. If you just give
yeah.
them, they don't read. So it's difficult.
Yeah, so I was thinking I will buy the small book. They are 40, 50 rupees. So it's not going to cost me much. And if he need be, he will be benefited. And also I have the like PDF all the books. So if he wants to read other books, I will just send him the PDF.
Yes, Prabhu. Who is this?
So, like, actually, like, when we will not read, when we have book, then the like Prabhupada mercy is not there, I think.
Yes, Prabhu.
When we seek
Actually,
Prabhupada mercy, then
yes, Vivek Prabhu. So
But
also
no one
that,
will read it.
Prahlad Bhatta, Prabhu was saying that if we give the book to someone, we might actually not know the reason for whom that book is. Like how Prahlad Bhatta Prabhu came to Krishna consciousness was his friend had a Prabhupada book, but
Yes,
his friend was not reading it. So he just went there and he got it from him. So somehow he became, so the book is there. It might be maybe for him or maybe for someone else.
yes, Prabhu. That's true. I
yes,
tried to make
Prabhu, that's sure.
I tried to make them pay something so they would keep the book.
Uh,
Okay, let's continue this chapter. Who wants to continue?
Vivek Prabhu can read maybe, or
Can
anybody else.
continue. Yes, Prabhu, I continue. Like, Gnani Prabhu read or
Yes, Prabhu.
Remaining.
okay. Shyamal Sundar Das. He also considered moral acts to result from a sense of egoism. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is so. People think, why should I surrender to Krishna? Krishna is a person and I am also a person. Such thinking is demonic. Rascals cannot understand that by surrendering unto the Supreme Will and satisfying the Supreme Will, salvation can be attained. Shyamasundara Das, yet Skofenier felt that it is possible to crush egoism and desire by love and sympathy for others. Srila Prabhupada, yes, without love, nothing can be sustained. If I do not love Krishna, I cannot surrender unto him. A small child naturally surrenders unto his parents because there is love for the parents. The more you love, the more you surrender is perfect. When there is a lack of love, the mentality by which you can surrender will not develop. If you have some love for me, you will carry out of my orders. There is no question of forcing one to surrender. The living entity is free to love or to reject. Without freedom, there cannot be love. Krishna consciousness means learning to love Krishna. Like I was watch the now that half an hour back that Vishwambar Prabhu's lecture, that Prabhu was telling that ultimate how to attain, like how to ask benediction for God, like hearing the glories and chanting your names. We can love uh, Krishna by association only.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Prabhu was telling that so much important association of devotees. So we can here glorify pastimes and beautiful pastimes of Lord, and we can glorify uh, like that. Very nice class, bro.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I
Well
am
put it.
thinking that Shaman Sundar Skofren Lucuriel on love has compassionate sympathy for one who is suffering. Through his compassionate love, we can lose desire. Srila Prabhupada, why do you love those who are suffering and not those who are enjoying? Shyamasundara Das. So, Frener sees everyone has suffering. Srila Prabhupada, yes, we agree to this. Everyone within material nature is suffering. Therefore, Krishna descends and delivers Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is described as the deliverer of all fallen souls. Say Vaishnava takes sannyasa, the renounced order, out of compassion for others, because his only duty is to preach the message of Krishna consciousness. People in the world are suffering due to their ignorance. They think, oh, no, I have a nice car, apartment, and girlfriend, therefore I am happy. Actually, this is not happiness but suffering. Because the Vaishnava loves Krishna and understands that he is part and parcel of Krishna. He realizes that the conditioned living entities are suffering for want of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, out of compassion, the Vaishnava takes sannyasa and goes forth to preach. I agree with us. As for the nature of the world, Socrates is vague, but he sees material life as basically irrational and whimsical. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is fact, and therefore we are changing bodies. This means that our material mind is not fixed, it is constantly rejecting and accepting. Mayavadi philosophers and Buddhists say that since this material pleasure and pains arises from this material combination, the best course is to dismantle it. They do not say that the soul is the basis, but the material body is nothing but a combination of the material elements. They therefore advise us to let the earth return to earth and the water return to water and so on. In this way, they tell us that we should strive to become zero to attain nirvana. Nirvana. Shyamasundara Das Limited claimed that this is the best of all possible worlds, and you agree because the world is God's arrangement. But Socrates sees uh, this has this has the worst of all possible worlds. Srila Prabhupada, there is no doubt that whatever Krishna creates, he is perfect. However, since the nature of this material is, sorry, nature of this world is material, there are three modes of working: goodness, passion, and ignorance. As you work, you receive the results, the reactions. We do not agree that this is the worst of worlds. Why should God create the worst of anything? Sri Ramasundara Das, Socrates believes this because the world is so full of madness and frustration. Srila Prabhupada, had he taken his frustration seriously, it might have made him successful. We receive many letters from frustrated students who understand that frustration is another hell, and eventually they come to understand that they should seek the real shelter. So frustration is really not so bad if you put in a dangerous position and you know how to save yourself from it. That very danger will later give you pleasure. Shamasundara Das, Schopenhauer claims that the working of the world is ethically evil. Srila Prabhupada, to some extent that is right, because when you are in prison, you will find that there is evil, but that evil is good for you. It is there so that you can learn a lesson. When you are out of the prison, you will be able to love someone. Sure, I agree with us. For Schopenhauer, there is frustration beyond all material pleasures and endeavors. Happiness elude, eludes us. Eludes. Happiness eludes us. What is the meaning of eludes, Prabhu? Do you know? Eludius. Eludius. Escape from or avoid is typically skillful. Okay. Okay. Happiness reduces. As soon as we attain the objects of our desires, they no longer appear the same. They soon grow stale or forgotten. He writes, and through not openly disowned or yet always thrown aside as vanished illusion. Srila Prabhupada, yes, all this is going on, and therefore the living entity acquires one body after another. I agree with us. He sees us moving through a constant transition from desire to satisfaction, then to a new desire, the rapid course of which is called happiness, and the slow course sorrow. It is this flux from desire to satisfaction that categorizes the will's activity in the phenomenal world. Outside of this, there is only nirvana, extinction. Sexual Prabhupada. That is not a fact. We have to understand that behind the will and its satisfaction is a person who is willing. The Krafener does not take that person into consideration. He considers only the will and its satisfaction. It is the individual soul who is willing. If he succeeds in stopping this flickering willing, what next? Even the stopping of the will is temporary. One kind of willing may be stopped, but there will be another kind of willing and satisfaction. We must understand that behind the whimsical will is the spirit soul. When the spirit soul understands his real identification as the eternal servant of Krishna, his will is purified. We should not be satisfied by simply trying to annihilate the whimsical will. We should understand the real will of the real person. That is the beginning of spiritual life. I agree with us. Maybe Kyani Prabhu is if we can read because Kyani Prabhu didn't read now.
Gianni Prabhu, did you read before? I think he read maybe.
No, Prabhu, he didn't read. Only you read, I read, and Lebo Prabhu read. And
Yes,
now we read.
Kyani Prabhu can read now.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna
Please,
Prabhu.
1 minute,
Thank you.
please. Just
Okay, bro.
yes. Where are we?
let's read like 2 or 3 pages more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with others. Schopenhauer believes that voluntary and complete chastity is the first step to asceticism, or in the denial of the will to live. Chastity denies the assertion of the will, which extends beyond the individual life. He writes and gives the assurance that with the life of the body, the will, whose manifestation it is, cease. Okay. Yes, but he must understand that behind the will, there is a person who is willing. It will not help us simply to negate the temporary material will. We have to will in reality, and that is our eternal willing. That is Krishna consciousness. In the material world, the will is directed toward sense gratification because the living entity has forgotten the spiritual field of willing. When the same will is directed towards satisfying the senses of the Supreme, that is the eternal willing of the living entity. Jivela Swalupahaya Krishnela Nityadas. Chaitanya Charitamrita Mantra 2108. When we come to the platform of real knowledge, we understand that we are the eternal servant of God. When our will is concentrated on how to serve God, we attain our real position of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. I agree with us, although Schopenhauer officially takes an atheistic stand. He writes, if a man fears death as his annihilation, it is just as if he were to think that the sun cries out of evening, woe is me, for I go down to eternal night. Thus, suicide appears to us as a vain and therefore foolish action. Srila Prabhupada, yes, because the will is there. Death is not the stoppage of life. One simply gets another life. Einusminyata de kumanam yuvananjala tata dehantala praptyati tilastatra namuyati. As embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Bhagavad Gita 2:13. This is proof that the life of the person who is willing is eternal. His desire and will are eternal, but Schopenhauer does not know what his eternal willing is. His eternal will is to serve Krishna always. It is a fact that suicide is not solution. One just implicates himself more and more if he kill the body given by God. We have to accept another body or remain a ghost. If I live in this body 80 years and then commit suicide, I have to remain a ghost for 5 years before I get a chance to receive another body. Oh, so it's 5 years.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Now I found it again because I've been always thinking this. And then I was thinking that I've heard this somewhere, but I forgot. I didn't remember. I was thinking I've learned this thing from somewhere, from Prabhupada. But I didn't remember where I've heard this, or so in this conversation this said. I was always thinking it must be like this, and now Prabhupada confirmed it.
So, of course, you may argue that since the soul is everlasting, it makes no difference whether the body is killed. It is all right if the body is annihilated, but you cannot deliberately kill the body because that is hindering its progress.
But
the living entity is
but I'm thinking, is it if we kill the body given by God, we have to accept or remain ghost. If I live in this body 80 years and then commit suicide, I have to remain a ghost for 5 years. But why it's 5 years? Now I got confused. Is it always 5 years?
I have I don't know it from Shastra, but in India it is like a saying that we all have like a fixed lifetime,
Yes, Prabhu.
and
Yes, I was thinking like yes.
so
I
if
know
we
what
die
you mean.
before that or commit suicide, we'll have to stay in a ghost body till that
Yes,
specific
Prabhu.
time is over, and then we'll get another body.
Yes, Prabhu. I was thinking like that, but is this what Prabhupada means here when he says I have to
Yeah.
remain?
I will
So I
try
have
to
not
find
heard
the
from
reference.
Prabhupada, but in India it is saying, so it may be wrong as well.
Yes, Prabhu. That's also what
Maybe
I
like
have thought.
may,
If your karma is to live for 85 years old and you suicide at 80 years old, you will have to remain 5 years. I've understood like this.
Yeah.
oh, like that. Maybe one logic is there.
Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe there is reference also, so we can search for it.
Yes, Prabhu.
There's always reference for Prabhupada.
Yes.
So we were like this, or more we will arrive at this I think this is not the it's called in progress. The living entity is destined to live in a particular body, and if you destroy that body, it has to wait for another. It is mean that you are interfering with his spiritual evolution, yeah, his spiritual progress. Therefore, you are liable for punishment. I agree with us. Schopenhauer also looked on Indian philosophy as a philosophy of denial of the will, and he cited many examples of suicide as religious act. Chapeau, but he did not study Vedic philosophy and religion perfectly. He has some idea of some portion of the Mayavadi and Buddhist philosophies, but evidently he did not know about Vaishnavism. Although he has touched Bhagavad Gita, he did not study it thoroughly, because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna that if he only tried to attain knowledge of God, his life and will would be purified, and he would return back to Godhead upon giving up the body. Janma karma chami devyam evayo viti tadvataha chatva deham punar janma.
Aiti mamiti swarja.
Aiti mamiti swarja. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita 4:9. Either Schopenhauer did not study Bhagavad Gita roughly, or he could not understand for want of a real spiritual master. According to Bhagavad Gita itself, we should go to a bona fide guru who has seen the truth. Schopenhauer is speculating on the basis of his own experience. Therefore, although everything is there in Bhagavad Gita, he could not see it. I agree with us as examples of the denial of the will to live. Schopenhauer sets the religious societies under the wheels of the Jagannath carts and the ritual of Sachi. He talk about what?
But Prabhu?
So back, a couple of 100 years ago, there were people in India who used to think that, while Jagannath Rath Yatra is going, so they were thinking that if we commit suicide by coming under the wheel of Jagannath, they will attain liberation. I don't know if it is a fact or not, but this is true. I have learned, that English word Juggernaut word, there is a thing like Juggernaut.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so there was English people back. This was going on during British time. So after saying this, the British people coined the term juggernaut. It was bad meaning, and then later the meaning got changed to an unstoppable force. So yeah,
thank
this
you,
was
because
happening
I didn't know about
back.
that.
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
think
also knew
sometimes
this a
it's
few
still
times.
going on.
Actually, I learned it from a Karmi. So he was explaining how the Juggernaut word come into existence. So it is because of the Jagannath Rath Yatra.
Yes, Prabhu. And what is the ritual of Sachi?
It's when the husband dies.
Sati,
when husband dies and the body is burned, the chaste wife, she goes to the fire.
sometimes, yes,
okay.
voluntarily.
Yes.
Voluntarily.
Okay. Yes. I read it in the teaching of Queen Kunti.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
But in Kali Yuga, this is banned.
Yes. It is
yes,
also
I
not
read it also.
recommended in the previous bit also.
But they
Very
say
few
that in
times it is
India,
allowed.
they
No,
say
no.
in India there was some
Yeah.
Mataji that still doing it.
No, no. So there are two types. So, there are Muslim kings, like Muslim was ruling India. So when they would attack like the Hindu kings, and if they would win, so they would like the rape their Hindu women and all. So to avoid that, all the like the Hindu women would commit johar, or it is like they would walk into the fire. And the other story is that when the Christian missionaries came to India, they were trying to like spread, Christianity. So they like started this fake report and distributing everyone that this sati are happening. So if you would read the sati reports of everyone saying it were mostly from Bengal, because in the starting the Britishers were only ruling Bengal. So they like they were spreading fake news that this sati is still happening, but it was not happening, or maybe very less were happening. I don't know about that. But these Britishers, they were saying like thousands and thousands of women are dying, which is wrong or lie. To spread to they were trying to spread convert to Christianity everybody. So that's why they were lying.
Yes, Prabhu. But it was also going on that some woman, because this is for only
Yeah,
really chaste women, that
yeah, yeah,
it was a problem that there was cases when some women were forced by the family to do
yeah,
this.
yeah,
So
yes,
that's
yes.
why it's
Yeah, that is also true. Sometimes they were
there is
forced,
there
but
is still chaste women somewhere, and this is still somewhere happening, but it's really rare, and we don't hear of those things often. But see this verse, CC Adi 17164. Ashvamedam Gavalambam Sanyasam Palapaitrikam Devarena Sutotpattim Kalau Pancha Vivarjayet. In this age of Kali, 5 acts are forbidden: the offering of a horse in sacrifice, the offering of cow in sacrifice, the acceptance of the order of a sannyas, the offering of oblations of
oh,
flesh of others. Oh, it's not in this one. How I remembered it? Yes, I remembered wrong. I remember that in this verse it was said that it's banned, but it's not in this one. So maybe I remember wrong totally. But it's not. It's
except, yeah. So, mother of Nakul and Sahadev, Arjuna's brothers, Nakul and Sahadev, Arjuna's brother. There were five Pandavas, na? Bhim, Arjun, Yudhishthir, Nakul and Sahadev.
yes, Prabhu.
So, like mother of Nakul and Sahadev also committed sati. But Kunti Devi was not allowed to commit sati. She was like, you have to live. Everybody was telling her.
Yes, Prabhu. There was Kunti and Madri, and I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot the name. Yes. Yes.
and it's here Prabhupada says, oh, it's in the Schopenhauer. It's in the same. I think now Prabhupada is talking about it. Oh, yes, in the
Okay.
next one he's also saying. Okay, you can continue, Prabhu.
Yes, sorry. Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada, these are not suicide. These are acts based on the understanding that because we are getting different types of bodies, we are suffering in a variety of miseries. When one voluntarily accepts death in this way, he think of his spiritual life while dying, and he attains it. Yayam va bhavam jajati ante kalevalam tam ivaiti kanteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits the body, that state is he will attain without fail. Bhagavad Gita 8:6. Therefore, King Kulachekala prayed that Krishna may take him while he was in good health and remembering Krishna, because he feared forgetting Krishna when dying in a disease condition. Often when death comes, a person is in a coma. His bodily functions are impeded. He dreams in various ways, and so on. Therefore, an intelligent man sometimes thinks that it would be more desirable to meet death in sound health, so that he can think of his next life and go back to Godhead. If a person thinks of Lord Jagannath while dying, he goes back to Lord Jagannath. That is not suicide, but the voluntary acceptance of death, so that one can immediately transfer to the spiritual world. I just have one question. So Lord Jagannath had a planet in Vaikuntha?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, very Haribo.
So it is Golok or different? Because they are same. Like
Can I ask,
yes, Prabhu.
is he also an incarnation, right? Krishna's incarnation,
No,
Lord
no, he
Jagannath.
is Krishna only. Krishna, there is a big pastime. I don't know perfectly, so I won't explain it. But there is a like big pastime. So Krishna and Jagannath, they are the same person. That's why Krishna, Subhadra and Baldev. So that is Balaram ji, Krishna and Krishna's sister Subhadra.
Oh yes, yes. Okay.
There is, it is in the Krishna book. You can, I guess it is in the Krishna book. I don't know for sure.
Okay, Prabhu.
Or in this, I was going to see if there was in this, but here it's no Jagannath planet.
Yeah,
We cannot see
But
it.
I was thinking,
yeah,
shouldn't it be like Golok, because Krishna, it is like basically he's same only. Krishna, he's called Jagannath, but he's Krishna. Like he also has Balaram ji with him and Subhadra ji with him. So shouldn't it be like Golok only? Which one?
No, Prabhu, I think there is own Jagannath planet.
Oh, yeah, we should ask the question in Instagoshi. We should save it for that.
Yes, Prabhu.
but this is a good topic also, because in spiritual world, actually in Vaikuntha, this is according to our individual lasa that we have
Yes,
with the Lord.
we
When
all
we
have a specific. It is called a Swarupa Siddhi.
the Swarupa Siddhi, but the rasa that we have, actually there are different type of rasa, and according to what rasa will awaken
Yes, yes, yes.
within you, you will go to the planet that the that
Dasya
correspond to this
Rasa
rasa.
and you mean
Mm.
like Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, and
Yes,
then
but there are various type of rasa. Actually, he said that the foreign thought, we forget about this, but everyone had a particular
yes, yes.
relationship with the Lord.
It is in the Bhagavad Gita introduction only. This
Yeah,
Prabhupada talks about this.
he only cite five
Yes,
rasa, the more
yes,
uh, how to say that,
yes.
important, as I can say it like this, but he said that there are main various type of rasa. Actually, they
I
are
think
not.
there are 9 in total, but 5. Yeah, so there are inanimate, animate, something like that. I don't remember it, but there are total, I guess, 9.
So these are the the main ones, but there is innumerable
Yes,
ones. So there is mixes of
yes.
all these. It
Yes,
in
yes.
teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these are explained in detail, and in that
Mm.
it's explained which one is compatible, which one is not which one is incompatible. For example, this rasa of love, like conjugal love and parental love, those are incompatible. Those don't go together, and there is explained all the varieties that are compatible and that are not compatible. There is so many different. It's yeah, it's really like when one thinks that how many different activities there is in spiritual world, Because now we think there is only some number we can say. But
Actually, I used to think before there was only 5, but now I know, oh, I have to read this book now.
yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, there are many. Actually, it's not very hard to understand because we have so many soul actually, and all the soul is individual. You know, we have an individual relationship with the Lord. So sometimes soul just want to be a small grass, you know, in Vaikunta or in Goloka Vrindavan, or just want to be the water, you know, and just want to be, you know, the a bird like this, you know. This is his relationship with the Lord, you know,
Yeah.
or just a small rock in Govardhan Hill, you know. So there are so many variety of lasa actually. So we cannot say anything about that because this is when we will become more advanced, actually, like pure devotee, that we will understand this.
When we become a pure devotee, our rasa is automatically revealed.
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
we can understand what at the extent that Prabhupada explained to us, but that's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Imagine the Lord Jagannath planet where there is huge Lord Jagannath deity. It's going like this from side to side. And he's
Yeah, but
looking with
actually,
huge eyes, everybody on that planet. He's looking like
actually, I was amazed to read this, you know, because I never saw this
yes,
before.
Prabhu.
So yes, I think
Actually, I think there will not be all like Jagannath and Golok would be like on the same planet because I mean, it doesn't really make sense because it is like said when Krishna was experiencing aesthetic separation from Radharani, she like took the assumed the form of Jagannath.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so
Yes, maybe Prahlad Prabhu can explain to us.
yeah. This is a very nice topic.
but perhaps we should you will remember, right? Because sometimes I just forget those.
Yeah, I written it down. Don't worry.
Okay,
Because
thank
I
you.
always forget my questions, so I think right.
Yes, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Oh, Krishna. I'm too bad, you know, with this memory. So forgive me.
Remember, I made one video of Lord Jagannath where Tadvait Prabhu explains, but I don't know where I put it. I will search it later. Then I will send it to Lebo Prabhu.
Send it in the group only. I will also.
Yes, Prabhu. I can hear the voice in. I remember what Tadvait Prabhu was saying, but I don't remember. It was like one of the first ones. Not this one, I think.
With Radha
What
Rani.
is
The residents of Dwarka went to bathe in a holy pond at Kurukshetra. Also, the residents of Vrindavan went during the eclipse. At that time, they met, and the gopis met Krishna after a separation of almost 100 years. Just imagine that many years away, and they met. And that feeling with which they met the Lord, that bhava, when they meet their beloved after so long separation, that was very much characterized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was in Jagannath Puri. He especially embodied the Mahabhava of Srimati Radharani. Bhava, devotees can have, but Mahabhava, only two people can have, and that is Srimati Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No other person has access to this Mahabhava, which is the great ecstasy. Once
Yes, I will search it today. Okay, tomorrow we continue from this part. And it's effective. Okay, now let's go to 6 Sashtakam prayers. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावादुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरेण काल एतत् ऋषितौ कृपा भगवन्नमापि दुर्दैव ईदृशम् इहा जनिनानुग्रह.
Can I try the number 3 one?
Yes, Prabhu.
Tranad api sunishena, taro api sahishnuna, amanina mana dena, kritanya sada hari. Na janam na janam na sundarim.
Nadanam Najanam Sundalim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Shvare Bhavatad Bhaktil Haituki Twaye.
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपा तव पादपङ्कजास्तिदधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलदाशु धराय भद्रं गद्गदर्दया गिरा पुलकैर्नित्यं बभूव तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha paravishayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govindam virahena me.
Evolve. Very nice, bro. आश्लिषवापदारतं पिनष्टु माम् अदृश्नान् मर्माहतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विददातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु ये नाथस्तु स ये परवा.
Haribo, Sri Siksastakam Ki Jai. Translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. So the Sankirtan movement is like a moon, because it's spreading the rays of benediction. And just like the moon affects the water of the ocean, see here also the moon, the Sankirtan movement, when it's prominent, then it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss because the moon rises to water.
Also, in Tattva Prabhu is saying that this moon is it always expanding, it never wanes, it is always waxing.
Yes, Prabhu. I need to rewatch also. It has been years since I watched the Six Astakam series.
Oh my Lord, your holy... Oh, you'll read?
Yeah,
Or should I read? Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Should I continue?
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am a eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy names? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering to be 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, as he shall remain so, even if he handles even if he handles me roughly by his embrace of, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.
Ribo,
Vivo.
Jai.
Okay, now quickly the 10 offenses. First offense. Two.
Go on, Prabhu. I'll say the second one.
Blash.
Two.
Blashmin.
Do blaspheme.
Nice name.
Blaspheme the pure devotee of Lord who has spent his life in who has dedicated his life to spread the holy name of the Lord.
Ribo.
Provocating.
Who is dedicated?
Very nice proof.
Second one, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be an equal or to be independent to the name of the Lord Vishnu.
Third one is to disobey the order of spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary man.
Fourth one is to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures perseverance with the Vedic version. Fifth one is to consider
glories
of the Hare Krishna imagination.
Ribol.
Next one to
consider chanting of the name like an auspicious.
To give some
to give interpretations to the holy name of the Lord.
Mundane interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh is to commit sinful activities on the
end of the holy name.
Eighth one is karma kanda, I think.
Yes.
Karma kanda, to consider the Hare Krishna chanting of Hare Krishna to one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which is offered in the way of the spiritual activities. Karma kanda.
Ninth one, to instruct the person about the glories of the holy name. Tenth offense.
To what is there? First chatting.
Not have complete faith.
No. To still have material desires after learning instruction on this matter.
Yes, Prabhu.
Like
that one, but first chatting is what is there? Oh, chatting. To not have complete faith in the holy chanting of the holy name and maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema Haribo Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhyo Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Haribo Panchatattva ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Hari